Okay, this family in Arizona had a small, awkward backyard. They had no construction experience, and the city kept telling them no. What you're looking at took 18 months, 4 sets of hands, 2 adults and 2 children, and a lot of setbacks, more than I can even count.
Just had a question. We have a lot of destinations that we're interested in. We've been thinking about it for a while because we've been watching your YouTube channel for months and trying to take it all in. We have kind of a medium-sized yard for Arizona, so it's not huge, but it's not the tiniest. How much space do you guys generally advise for like in between these destinations? I mean, I'm assuming we can cram too much and then it's just too much and not good flow.
So Krista is one of my members, and she came into this community with big dreams and a small canvas. Her first question told me everything. She was already thinking the right way. She just needed someone to help her and trust the process.
Yes. That is such a great comment. And I show this all the time on the YouTube channel, but it's a job that people are very surprised that we were able to get so much in. You know, it's just this guy. It's just little, I don't know, this might be large for some people, but in my area, this is considered a very small little backyard. It's very shallow, so the depth just wasn't there. So they didn't think they could do hardly anything. And they were able to create a very nice 3 destination spot right outside of their door. Sometimes they want to cram everything right outside of the door, but it's better to get out, maximize the space, get a destination. In this one, we're able to get the outdoor kitchen and a bar, a dining area, and then this whole destination lounge area with fireplace.
One of the first things that I show people is that space is almost never the real problem. The problem is putting everything right outside of the back door. The moment you start pushing destinations out into the yard, everything changes.
But one of the issues we ran into is we actually have started reaching out to our city and finding out the zoning requirements and setbacks. We originally wanted to do like a big 12 by 20 structure with an outdoor kitchen and living area inside of it, but we're not going to be able to. What they do allow is us to basically cut that in half, put it a foot apart in 2 structures, and that's okay for some reason.
Then the city showed up. And honestly, this is where most people just quit.
The way we've done this in the past, because we've had to get around this in our area with HOA and just jurisdictional things, is we did the 2 structures, but then we tied them together with a pergola in the center. And then we we actually purposely did a polycarbonate cover to that. And it basically brought everything together to make it look like it was one.
I've learned over the years that some of the best design decisions come from working around what you can't do. 2 rooms with 1 connecting pergola. It was a polycarbonate cover overhead. We were going to make this look completely intentional, like a design feature.
So I'm going to share my screen here, guys. Now, realize this was not the thing the homeowner wanted. It was what this jurisdiction allowed us to do. So we did this double-sided fireplace here, and you can see it's very tiny backyard, by the way. And that's the end of their property, this fence. So we did the 2 rooms, and then we just did this little cover, and it's a polycarbonate cover over it. And they allowed this. So does that help, Krista?
Yeah, it does. That's definitely kind of an interesting idea.
So before a single shovel went into the ground, Krista did something that most homeowners skip entirely. She sat down with graph paper, like I teach in my YouTube channel and in my membership, and she drew her property to scale.
You flew over to the dining area.
Yes.
Okay, and that's obviously undercover, so that's kind of nice to be able to have that little reprieve from the sunshine.
Yes, I wouldn't worry about it too much, except that the sun just beats down all year here.
Okay, I get you for sure. A hot tub area off to the side. And is that there just for proximity for the exit, for ease of use, or is that just the best spot you found for it?
It's one of the best spots we found for it in our configurations, but I'm open to suggestions. Our yard's not that big, so it wouldn't be that far of a walk no matter where it's at.
Okay, cool. And then I did see that you had some layout of your interior structures. I guess the biggest question I had is, can you flow through both of those spaces fairly easy?
Actually, the outdoor kitchen, no, but I had some comments on that from people. And so we're looking at more of maybe a galley style kitchen instead.
Okay. Here, let me bring those up so we can just look at that real fast. Everybody can see my screen okay with the layout? Okay, I love that you did this, by the way. This is really helpful for, I think, all of us as we start to figure out the more details of the kitchen and the bar. Like, this is really important so we can kind of see the flow through the space. Obviously, I think I like what you've done here by doing the U shape, and we've done that a lot, but it does create the inability to flow through it, obviously.
Yeah.
And so when you said that you were thinking of doing more of an open bar area?
Yeah, kind of like on the right-hand side, instead of it being a U, the top wouldn't be there, and we might scooch it over a little and just do like a 10-foot long on each side, basically.
Okay, so it just from post to post on both sides?
Yep. This was just preliminary thinking to try to figure out how to work this out. So I like how it looks when the bar is on the outside. We were just concerned about the sun.
Yeah, okay, I understand. So it sounds like you're going to rework this. We'd be happy to help with that. But I do like at least the idea of trying it on both sides just for that better flow through the space.
How many feet should you have between two sides of a galley kitchen?
You're talking, for instance, having it like one post to post and having the other more like this?
Yes.
I like that. No, I like it. I like it probably better.
Yeah.
Because now you can flow through both ways. And then back here is going to be really nice seating, and it's going to flow good from this space to this space too. So that might be a nice little spot, just having that little bit of prep area at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, as you kind of move your puzzle pieces around a little bit, we can look at that again next week too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know it sounds simple, but if you do this and start playing with where all your features go, everything changes.
That was one of the most invaluable things from this whole thing, was doing that. I never in a million years would have thought to draw our yard on graph paper and then draw to scale all the destinations. It's mind-blowing. And basically it can eliminate things too, and also open up other things, because you'll see exactly what it's going to look like in your yard. Next to a 3D, that's probably got to be like the most clever idea I had ever heard of.
Thank you for saying those, by the way, Krista. I do agree. You make these little puzzle pieces and you start moving things around and you start to realize how things start to fit in. And it does work. Yeah. It's a lot less expensive than 3D renderings, by the way. This is one of the first things I walk every member through after the vision. And it costs nothing but a little bit of your time. The problem is that most people never do it because they don't have anything holding them accountable or showing them how. That's what the membership is for. And right now the doors are open, but only until Sunday, May 31st at midnight. Click the link below.
We actually have a kind of a flat roof home. It's like Adobe Mexican type style of a home. We actually prefer more rustic look, but that's not what our house looks like.
So you have a style of a home that's more traditional, and you are wondering if you can deviate from the style. Is that correct?
Yeah, we like the gable style roofs and the big wood and the very rustic kind of country style look. But our house is a flat roof with a gable in the middle and a flat roof.
Okay. I think you're starting to get into a zone where you could design something and have it not work with the home. But let me help you with that. We would have to make sure there was some marriage of the two. You just don't want to like force it, but we'd have to find a way to bring some rustic into your architecture.
So Krista also had to wrestle with something that a lot of people face. Their dream style didn't match their house. So we talked about finding a marriage between the two rather than forcing it. That conversation shaped the aesthetic of everything that came after. So they started midsummer, and by spring, they had a plan, they had a layout, they had the blessing from the city, and 2 structures were ordered. The building was about to begin, and things were going to get harder before they got easier. If Krista's story is already resonating with you, don't wait for video 3 to take action. The membership closes Sunday at midnight. Everything I walked Krista through, every module, every live call, every community member who showed up when she was stuck. That's what's waiting for you.
The link is below. I'd love to see you in the community, but wait until the next video where we start seeing Krista start to build her outdoor project all by herself with her husband and her 2 kids. You will love the transformation.